Welcome, hello, and welcome museum families, and welcome to the RBCM at Home Kids, a play day through screens across British Columbia and the world. The previous sessions are recorded, and you can find them on our Royal BC Museum YouTube page. My name's Chris O'Connor, and I'm a learning program developer at the Royal BC Museum. The museum and my home is on the territory of the Lekwungen-speaking people, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, here in Victoria on Vancouver Island. I'm an uninvited guest on this territory and grateful to live, learn, and raise a family on this land. So typically what we do is for these programs is we have some kind of activity. I usually have a guest come on. We've done over 50 of these sessions, but today, and what happens every first Wednesday of the month, is we go on a field trip. And we're gonna do that like right away. So, the museum is the galleries that you're probably used to seeing, but there's also a big collection tower next to the museum, and most of the objects and specimens and things that are part of the museum are in that tower. So we're going to go into that tower, which most people don't even get to go into because it's locked up. So I have keys. We can get in today. Yeah, so we're going to go in that way. And I'm really looking forward to showing you. So because we're going to go into the gallery, I'm going to put on my mask. But first, I'm going to get my camera. So as I showed the last couple of weeks, I'm using this gimbal. It's called a gimbal. And see my face there sideways. The gimbal, when I turn it on, bing, it's like magic. It'll go this way, and then I'll go hit it twice, and it'll go, oops. Here, let me try that again. Ooh, went upside down. So I want to make sure, actually, going to just move it a little bit so that the camera can be seen. I'm still getting used to this camera, this gimbal, which is different. Jenny is probably.
Just make sure that the camera is pointing in the direction that the little camera icon says. On the little clips, there's a direction that the camera has to be, and then just put the clip in the middle so there's not a big space in between. And then you should be good to go.
Great. Okay. I think I'm good to go now. So I'm going to take off I'm going to mute myself.
So Chris is just switching over to the other camera. There you go.
All right. So, and I'm going to put my mask on because we're going to go into the collection tower. So we might see some people on the way. I'm also going to get my, actually, I won't use the AirPods because we're going to be meeting with Paul Ferguson. Okay, so can you hear me okay though, Jenny?
Yes, for sure. We can hear you well.
Okay, great. I'm going to turn the volume up just a little bit so I can hear. All right. Thank you, Lily, for saying yes. So you can hear me as well. Great.
We also had a comment of gimbals have a life of their own. Keep trying. So yes,
I know. I feel, so we have two gimbals, and one I feel very comfortable with, but it's an older model. This one is newer. Jenny feels very comfortable with it. I don't yet, so it has a life of its own that I am still trying to figure out. So I'm going to come to the security desk here, and I'm going to ask, can I have a natural history key? So I'm going to ask for a key to get, remember, because I said the collection tower is a special place that not everyone can go into. Thanks. So I get a special key that will help me get into the building. So I'm going to turn the camera around right now, just so you can see where I'm going. So if you haven't been to the museum before, this is, oh, that's two of our security guards. You're okay. We're closed right now, so we won't see any other visitors right now. But this is our main lobby. So if you were coming as a class, you would say hello to our box office, and they would give you the tickets to actually go up into the gallery. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to go into the collection tower, which I'll try to show you if you can see. It's a very tall building that's right beside the gallery building. And there it is right there. So that's our collection tower. And we're going to go into that collection tower right now. So we have this, I'm going to go through this door. And we're walking into the bottom of the collection tower. And this is where I need to use the special key that I just got. So I'm gonna use that little key, and now I'm into the basement, or not the basement, but the first floor of the collection tower. And I wanted to show you this really cool part of the museum that you could actually see from the windows outside, but a lot of people don't know that it's even here. But these are two display cases, because the glare is a little hard to see. But these are two display cases of a whole bunch of different birds. And these birds were collected, most of them were collected, some of them were collected, but all of them were mounted and created by the first curator here at the museum in the late 19th century. So 1880s, 1890s here at the museum. So these are over 100 years old, these birds in this display case, which is pretty cool. All right, so yeah, so that's a great question. Mark says, are they real? So all these birds are real. These are all real birds that lived over 100 years ago. It's kind of a weird, I don't know if you're getting this, but I see a little bit my reflection and the owl's reflection. So it looks like I have owl eyes, which is kind of funny. Yeah, Lisa saying that I do have owl eyes. So these are all real. The one thing about, speaking of eyes, the one thing that's not real, because when you're doing taxidermy of birds, so these birds probably lived a long life. And then after they died, they came to the museum, and then they stuffed them and take out the bones and then make them into the different sort of displays that you see here. So the different kind of, so here's actually an interesting one where there's a bird who's caught another bird. So you can make these kind of displays, but the thing that's not real is that the eyes, because you can't preserve eyes from birds. So these are like marbles, kind of like marbles that they paint, or glass, some kind of glass. And yeah, sometimes we'll find them dead. Right now, if we would never go out and kill a bird, but sometimes they do die. Often, like birds will, you see the glass right here. A lot of times birds will fly into glass and then they'll die in like homes with glass. Then they'll die, and then people will donate. Yeah, it's really sad that people will donate those birds to the museum. But we back when the museum first started, sometimes we go out and actually kill birds, but we wouldn't do that now. So what we're doing, yeah. So they see the glass, or they see what's inside, and then they don't see that there's glass. So sometimes they'll fly right into the glass, which is really sad. So we're in the tower right now, and I don't know if, Jenny, let me know if you can tell, but this is looking up at the tower, and there's 14 floors So it might not read on your screen, but it's very high up. And you can look through that little slot to see how high this building is. So we're gonna go walking. This is good exercise for me. Easier for you on your side. And actually, here's an office right now, and Bronwyn is there, who was a guest a few weeks ago. She's working in that office space. So we're gonna go up to the 8th floor. And at each floor, it is so tall. I always lose my breath when I'm going up these stairs. The 3rd floor is where all the plants and flowers are. And it's also where the dinosaur and fossil collection is. The 4th floor, right here, is where there's all the mammals. So like bears, coyotes, and raccoons. The 5th floor, which we're gonna pass right now, cats, not so much cats. Oh, well, bigger cats like cougars. We do have cougars in the collection, but not really house cats. The 5th floor is all birds, mostly birds, because we have a lot of birds in our collection. The 6th floor is all insects, and luckily insects that are not alive. Oh, actually, that's interesting. Someone, I think it was Landon's, that said, can we see the cat floor? And actually, next month, I was thinking of going to the cat floor because there's also whales on the cat floor. So yeah, let's do that next month. So we're almost to where we want to go. And actually, I want to show you the view when we get up here. So we're on the 8th floor now. And if you look out, you could see the BC Legislature building is there. There's lots of city buses. And I'll show you the other direction as well. So it's a beautiful view up here. We have the inner harbor with all the boats. And then the Empress Hotel too. And there's the bell tower. We have a big bell tower here at the museum. Yeah, the Empress, that's right. We're as high as the highest part of the Empress right now. And remember, this building goes up to the 14th floor. So another time we could go up to the very top of this tower. But right now we're gonna go into the collection room. And I'm gonna ring the doorbell. So I just rang the doorbell there. Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello, Paul.
Come in.
Welcome to my 60 friends on the other side of the screen. So I'm just gonna turn the camera around just because you can see both of us together. So Paul and myself. And then I'll turn around the camera again. So Paul Ferguson is the collection manager. Remember, as we were going up the tower, we saw all those different floors with different collection items. Each collection has a curator and a collection manager. So the collection manager looks after all the things that are in that collection. And Paul Ferguson, right here, is the collection manager of history.
Thank you. Yes, I am. And so is Anna, who's in the other room. They're taking some pictures right now. So just
yeah. Hi, Anna.
Excellent. How are you? So maybe just run in there and have a quick look at.
Yeah, so lots of different things are happening here. And Anna, so what are you doing right now?
I'm photographing this guy so we can put him up online.
So what are we looking at? What is this?
You are looking at a tin from the Hudson's Bay Company.
Ah. How old do you think that is?
Oh, I would have to check the record, but it's not young.
Not young.
Yeah.
So maybe like
1910, 1920.
Yeah, somewhere in there, yeah.
about 100 years ago.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
Of course, what I would add to this is the museum doesn't necessarily collect really old things either. We collect right up to modern day. So, for example, we have COVID-19 collections that
Yeah.
the museum is accepting. And I will show you some more modern things when we take a walk down the stacks.
Well, one thing for both of you to know is that I was asking everyone what if they have something in their home that they think could be in a museum, and they all came up with really great suggestions, like an old bottle, or maybe their father's car collection, like antique toy car collection, or Hot Wheels that they have. So is that an important part of it? Is that part of the collection is things that have been used by people all over time, including now?
It can be, because one of the things that's really important with those collections that kids are thinking about today are the stories that are behind that. So you may want, like with the Hot Wheels, you may want to say, Dad, where did you get these? Who gave them to you? Do you have any of the original boxes? Do you have any of the original pins? And the only reason I know all this is because I had Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah.
So I know what there potentially is. And most of mine came out of 2 different stores up island. So those are the things that we're really interested in. It's not always the thing. It's the thing plus the story.
Yeah.
So that's really important to us.
Yeah, for sure. And if it's connected to this land, this place,
Correct.
then
And
it's
maybe you could ask your grandparents or something, or maybe even dad or mom, do you have pictures of you playing with these toys? And then all of a sudden the whole world just opens up and changes.
Yeah. So toys are really important, and we have toys in our collection.
We
right?
do.
By Anna.
Yeah. Would you like to look at them?
I would love to. We would love to look at that.
Careful of your step down there. There's some of our backlog we're dealing with just for fun.
So that means like things that have been coming into the collection, people donate, and then we have to decide whether it will be part of the collection, and then we have to like bring it into the collection.
Come on down here. So I opened this up earlier. In fact, Chris visited yesterday and we had a little chatter. And I thought, for modern things, I don't know how old exactly our audience is, but this may be something Mom and Dad recognize. This is a game of Beyblades, which is a form of battling tops. And this is really, really quite modern. I don't know when Beyblades were popular, maybe 10, 15 years ago. But it gives you an example of some of the things that we're collecting that represent a specific time and place. So if you were to come to the museum.
Jenny says they still are.
Excellent.
It seems like these things, and I won't touch anything because these are collection items, that they come in here and you put this purple thing and then you do it and they spin.
Yeah.
We apparently a couple of people have already made comments saying that they know of this and they're coming back.
This is good. This is good. So
Mark says I was going to say that. So
how old are these?
Yeah, I think the kids as young as 4 or 5 watching right now, and all the way up to grown-ups.
Well, maybe we'll show you. This was something that was very popular. Trivia Pursuit. Which is a game. It's a board game. I'd show you more of this, but this box seems to be empty.
Oh.
And I actually wonder if the game is on display in our decade.
Oh, I think it is. Yeah.
Another reason to come down and have a look at Trivia Pursuit. It was a Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah.
It was very popular. But
so just to say, Mark says that he's 10 years old, and knows about that game.
Do you know about this one? Of course you do.
So the old-fashioned game
of Pogs.
Pog. Does anyone out there know of Pog?
course they do. They're still playing with them.
I've never. Oh, Lily says, I do, but I'm a mom.
Good one. Good one.
And G says, I haven't seen them in a while. So yeah.
That gives you an idea of some of the newer things. Of course, we also collect things, you know, the traditional, the teddy bears. Can't really get up here to show you the rubber duck.
Yeah, can you bring that down?
This is Bill, the rubber duck.
Ah.
Seems fitting. This is a sizable duck.
Yeah, I've never seen a rubber duck that big before.
So, and then one of the things that you can see, we like this because it's got the original tag. There is an accession, a catalog number on this, which is 2004, which is the year it came here or the year it was given to us.
Uh-huh.
The number, the middle number, 57, it looks like, that's the donor number, and 0.1 is the first object in that collection. So if the donor gave us 9 things, it would be 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5,
yeah,
etc.
Mark says, nice to meet you, Bill.
Good one.
Because Bill probably doesn't get to be seen that often.
No,
so it's nice that we're visiting Bill.
Because so much, you know, history has about 76,000 known items in its collection.
Yeah.
Of which there's only 6,000 on display.
Yeah. So most of it is back here.
Now,
I see a Nintendo Entertainment Center.
Well, keeping on the modern theme,
yeah,
we may as well bring this out. Some of you will recognize this. I wonder if you can, you'll all know who these characters are.
Let us know in the chat or in the comment section if you recognize these characters.
So I could, you know, I could help you a little bit by asking you which one's Oscar.
Let's see, Big Bird, Sesame Street, Michael says.
Excellent. So you see, we don't just collect all that early material.
Yeah.
We do look for a variety.
That seems like a fun toy too, because all the little characters come in and out of that car.
Now.
Ooh.
This might be from the 60s.
And Lily says I had an Elmo when I was a baby. So excellent. Yeah.
This is a tin train. Now this is more my kind of era. Late 50s, early 60s. Not so much the late 50s. I was born late in the 50s.
So this is something that you might have played with.
It could be.
Yeah.
I actually still have my toys. Strangely enough.
Me too.
I always wonder what will happen with my things because I lived in so many different places. I'm not sure where they actually belong. So my stuff like this was all from Ontario. And I never lived very long in places in Ontario or Quebec that I'm really anchored in any one community. But some museums collect by subject. So at times, some of the museums will put out a call for toys.
Right.
So maybe that's what will happen with them.
Yeah.
What else can we show you?
Someone asked if you have a dollhouse.
A dollhouse? Yes, we do. It's a little awkward to see.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I don't think I can open that.
No, I think we could see a Fisher Price dollhouse, huh?
Yes. So that one's all plastic. Plastic does pose some issues for preservation in that it will break down with time. And earlier ones are made out of tin, and they're all lithographed on top with all the different rooms and the kitchens, and the living rooms and things.
Someone asked, do you have any He-Man?
I can't, what do they call it? Motu, Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
I have none of that.
Oh, no.
However.
I think we need some of that at the...
However.
And Jenny said that she had that dollhouse when she was a little, when she was younger.
Terrify me. This is
yeah.
I think these are Transformers, but I don't think this is Optimus Prime. So all of you kids,
maybe someone whose Transformers are the best, CL says.
So I imagine you'll be imitating Optimus Prime all morning and afternoon now. So that'll be fun, and let your parents know that you're doing this because you visited the museum virtually today.
Yeah. So it's not so nice to see the different kinds of, and I see in this box here, there's another video game.
too.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Can't really say what this one is. Looks like a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of fun, actually.
Oh yeah, it's like a little.
I wish I had a
Yeah.
table. Oh, how easy.
These are like little arcade games. That's
Oh,
cool.
this is magnificent. This has a lot of appeal even to me. So this one is called, good gracious, Galaxian. So I'm not sure what the objective is, but you know, this is like having your, what is that, a Game Boy?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
much bigger
Yeah,
version
yeah,
of
for
Game
sure.
Boy now.
And then
And-
there's Pac-Man there too.
Excellent.
So Paul, you could just like play games the whole day here
Yeah, pretty
in the
much.
collection. Someone was asking about Lego. Do we have any Lego?
Lego may be in the exhibit area.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there'll be anything here. I was going to go back to one more Transformer.
I see a Where's Waldo jigsaw puzzle too.
Good gracious. No, maybe we've had enough Transformers. Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo is right here.
Ah, there we go. Well done. That's a
So
good one.
so puzzles are important too.
So let's spend the next half an hour figuring out where Waldo is.
Yeah.
I don't
So we
think-
have a question from CL. How do we donate toys?
Well, one of the things you do is you have to decide, do you want to give it to the museum? And you know, some of these decisions, they aren't always easy to make.
Here, we can
So
come out to the.
sometimes you need to talk to other, you know, family members, but if it's really important to keep this memory of this toy and your history with it alive, or your family's history alive,
Yeah.
talk it over, write up the story, contact one of our curators or even myself. Chris can provide that information, I think, at the end of the session. And you bring it. Well, we can't actually collect right now because of COVID restrictions, but
But soon we will be.
soon these things would be brought in. We would write up some initial paperwork about it, and then it moves through a process where we need to get approval from a committee of people. Then once it's approved, we send you a deed of gift form and you would sign that and turn it over to us. Just because we accept something though, does not mean that it will go on exhibit. We collect for many generations. So your donation today may be more important to us
In 50 years.
in 50 years.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
So think about that. If you're 10 years old now and you give this to us, you might be able to come to the museum when you're 60 and say, that was my toy.
Yeah.
I bought that at such and such a place. I got that from my grandmother. And those connections for people are absolutely huge.
And also just imagine, here, I'll turn the camera on because we're just finishing up now. Thanks everyone for staying with us a little past the time, but that also imagine in 50 years what toys kids will be playing with too.
Mhm.
That the toys that you're playing with now that you love might seem really weird to kids in 50 years. So it's great to have a museum to be able to see like what are the different kinds of things that were played with at different times. So thank you so much, Paul,
You're welcome.
for joining us today. Oh, I see. Yeah. So it was really great to see. I did see a comment saying, what a cool job you have.
Thank you. Thank you. It is very cool.
And Jenny's putting your contact information just in case anyone has any questions
Okay.
too.
Hi, Jenny.
There's great people that work here at the museum. And thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Paul, again.
welcome.
Thank you, Anna. And next week, again, we'll be jumping into science and thinking about the ocean. But thank you so much for joining us up in the toy collection at the museum today. So bye, everyone. See you
you.
next week.